orientation to Gavin Newsom being pushed by the DSA as a whole. But I want to actually bring up some of the explicit things they said. Let me see if I can get their statement. But the DSA LA statement is very significant. They claim that the path to Medicare for all goes through California and relies upon Governor Newsom asking President Biden for waivers from the Affordable Care Act so that California can start running its own healthcare system. And then all of a sudden we'll be able to get Medi-Cal for all. And I mean, obviously that's a very tortured chain of custody for quote unquote progressive politics. But the heart of it, and you'll really notice it there, they see no possibility for the independent activity of the working class. The only thing socialists, the only thing workers can do is beg one right-wing Democrat to beg another right-wing Democrat to allow the state to have its own health care system.
So there you go. California would never get a universal health care because they're run by right-wing capitalists. Both the Democrats and the Republicans are right-wing capitalists. You're not going to get universal health care with Gavin Newsom, nor Kevin Rath, nor Larry Elder. One of those three, maybe, I don't know, David Moore. Trotskyism. What is a Trotskyist? A Trotskyist is a person who believes in Leon Trotsky. And who is Leon Trotsky? Well, he's a Russian Revolution. And, of course, the Russian Revolution of 1917 was, the Bolsheviks. They took over the nation of Russia in a bloody coup during World War I. They were revolutionaries. They overthrew the government. They had an opportunity to have elections, but instead the Bolsheviks and Lenin, they went ahead and had a 7-year civil war, which caused a lot of bloodshed and hardship. And why didn't you have elections? God damn it. Okay. Anyways, since the Bolsheviks come onto the scene in world history, they're the first socialists, the first communists, the first, goddamn politicians that say, fuck the capitalists, let's all unite as, working class peasants and stand up for ourselves. Let's have some solidarity. And so he's not just going to change the narrative for Russia, he's going to change the narrative for the entire world. And so the Russian Revolution still inspires today. I love actually talking about the heroes of the Russian Revolution, and in terms of, am I a Trotskyist? Because there's a lot of shit about Trotskyism. I like Stalin's a piece of shit. Yeah, permanent revolution. I did get that from Trotsky. The international socialism, I don't know. Something about getting leading nations to be socialist or whatever. I feel like ultimately if you're a socialist in your heart, then hasn't, Karl Marx already won? If you think, God, we're all in this thing together and we should look out for one another, all for one and one for all, didn't Karl Marx kind of already won a little bit there? So I like that we talk about like the Stalinists and the Maos and who are the, Marxism versus Leninism versus Trotskyism. It makes me think we should do the same thing for Black Panthers. Huey Newtonism, Fred Hamptonism, and I don't know, Stokely Carmichael, H. Rap Brown, they're part of the Black Power movement. Not sure if they're Black Panthers, but you also got Bobby Seale, Robert George Seale, Bobby Seale, and then you got Leroy Eldridge Cleaver, and he's going to fucking do a 180, but Eldridge Cleaver was a motherfucking badass for a minute. Eldridge Cleaver. So you got Eldridge Cleaverism, Bobby Sealeism, Huey Newtonism, Fred Hamptonism. Damn it. I haven't said nothing about Trotsky. Trotskyism is ideology of Leon Trotsky. Stalin sucks. Permanent revolution, international socialism. Whereas Stalinism was just socialism in one country. Marx actually said to make the revolution permanent, you got to have leading nations that become socialism too. So Trotskyism is more closely aligned with Marxism. Trotsky he was exiled and he didn't get to be, the fucking president of the country or whatever. So Trotsky actually had the benefit of being a theorist. So he fought in the revolution, so he was a soldier and killed people or whatever, but afterwards he was a theorist, and then, he's going to get expelled because him and Stalin didn't get along, and then he's going to go to Mexico, and then he's going to get assassinated. So fucking shit, Trotsky is a, Russian revolutionary badass, and he just, kept on writing a bunch of shit, so he's a theorist, and So, yeah, that's why it's easier to like a Trotsky, because after the revolution, he didn't oppress and kill a whole bunch of Russians like, Stalin did. He didn't throw a bunch of Russians into the gulags. And then Trotsky said of Stalin that he betrayed the revolution, which he did. And so Trotsky's he's an orthodox Marxist. He's a revolutionary Marxist. Trotsky is a Leninist. Trotsky is both a Bolshevik and a Leninist. So, Trotskyism is a different variant of Leninism, and I guess Stalinism might be too. He's also, Trotsky's a follower of Marx, Engels, Rosa Luxemburg, and Karl Lieb something, and Lenin. Let's see here. Trotsky. He's a man amongst men, huh? Like David Moore, right? The Vanguard Rainbow Warrior needs to save the working class, the proletariat, communist, right? We need to... When I compare and contrast a capitalist versus a communist, capitalists are greedy, selfish, fucking pieces of shit. They care about profits for themselves and their shareholders. When I think about a communist, they want a dictatorship of the proletariat. They want the working class families to have the power. They want the poor peasants to have the power, a dictator of the proletariat. And then afterwards, they're anarchists. So once the socialists get power, they believe in destroying the state. So once the working class gets power, then you destroy the state. And then we're all just free people without an oppressor, without a status, government oppressor. So, a communist loves his country, men and women, so very much. A communist loves the people. He wants the people to have, all the money and all the things that they need: food, water, clothing, shelter, health care, library, roads, whatever, all the stuff that they need. So a communist is a person who just loves their fellow Americans or fellow Californians so very, very much that they want all of us to be doing good and doing well. And what's the hate about that? What the fuck is the hate about that? I hate the capitalist that just wants to enrich themselves while they're, passing legislation and doing shit for us, they say, versus the communist that doesn't enrich himself and is only in there for one reason and one reason only: to lead the nation to a better place, to make the lives of 40 million Californians better. History does not repeat itself, says Trotsky. So, take that, anybody, whoever said the opposite.